I had loved Robert for 8 years. I used all my resources to help him become a star of the academic world. But when I was hospitalized with acute gastritis, he repeatedly hung up on my emergency calls. Waking up from surgery, the first message on my phone was a rumor about Robert. While I was fighting for my life, he was busy flirting with the advisor's daughter, Sarah, a tenderness on his face I had never seen before. Years of persistence crumbled in an instant. After being discharged, I canceled the wedding, discarded the engagement ring, and burned the wedding dress. I disappeared completely from his life. 3 months later, Robert finally remembered me. The first time he proactively contacted me, he found the number was out of service. At the same time, the news of my engagement to the son of the nation's wealthiest man shook the world overnight. Holding the ring I had given him, Robert completely lost control. "Let's break up." I typed the message and pressed send. Then I turned off my phone and lay quietly on the hospital bed. I knew that even if I proposed breaking up, Robert probably wouldn't take it to heart. After all, he was the renowned Professor Roberts, an untouchable figure in academia. In everyone's eyes, I was marrying up by being with him. With a fiancé like that, I should be patient with him in everything. But they didn't know that Robert's success today was all thanks to me. In my nearly 30 years of life, the only investment I made without expecting anything in return was pursuing Robert. Robert was a brilliant mind at university, with top-notch looks, talent, and family background. Many people pursued him, including daughters from prominent families. My family background was average, my appearance was average, and my knowledge was even more so. Normally, someone as ordinary as me wouldn't be worthy of him. But in the 3rd year of university, the Roberts family suddenly went bankrupt. I was 3 years older than Robert and had started my own business in university, already accumulating nearly $10 million in assets. I directly took out half of my assets to help the Roberts family. Robert's father valued my capabilities and often invited me to dine at the Roberts family home, creating opportunities for Robert and me to be alone. After spending time together, Robert and I naturally got together and became engaged. I thought he had feelings for me, otherwise, how could someone as proud as him compromise himself emotionally? But on the day he graduated with his doctorate, I brought the wedding gift I had prepared to find him, only for him to say he wanted to postpone the wedding date. I asked for the reason multiple times. Perhaps he was annoyed by my questions, as he only left a sentence, "Are you trying to hold back my future?" before leaving with a cold face. After that, we started a silent treatment that lasted half a month. Until Robert's mother came to find me. She advised me to cancel the engagement, claiming I had used money to pressure and lure their family into agreeing to the engagement initially. Now, she felt my knowledge and capabilities were no longer worthy of Robert, so she advised me to step aside and let Robert find someone better. Hearing this, I couldn't help but laugh. Robert's mother never knew my true identity. She always believed that even though I could make money, my family background was ordinary and didn't match the prominence of the Roberts family. Without saying more to Robert's mother, I went directly to Robert's school. I found him in the library, surrounded by students. I knew this was the feeling he liked, being the center of attention. Sitting right beside him was a cool, intellectual-looking girl. I knew her. She was the advisor's daughter, Sarah. Robert's gaze towards her was heated, filled with an emotion I was all too familiar with. The same way I looked at him. The truth was right in front of me, and I finally understood why Robert had postponed the wedding date several times. I left quietly and had a few drinks that night, which unexpectedly triggered my long-dormant gastritis. I was sent to the hospital, where the doctors found the emergency contact in my phone and called Robert dozens of times. But no one answered. When I woke up, I saw the headline pushed to my phone. At a conference at the City Science Museum, Robert and Sarah exchanged intimate glances in front of numerous media outlets. The golden couple was particularly eye-catching. Their academic achievements and family backgrounds matched perfectly, quickly becoming the talk of the town/viral sensation among Riverside netizens and went viral online. Facing questions from netizens, Robert tacitly confirmed everything. Towards me, his fiancée, he completely ignored my existence. After sending the breakup message to Robert, I immediately called Robert's mother and agreed to break off the engagement. I had my assistant donate the wedding gifts I had prepared and cancel the wedding reception. Next, I blocked Robert and everyone else related to him from my contacts. News of the broken engagement slowly spread. Some gloated, while others felt sorry for me. Robert, however, seemed to have vanished, with no response to the breakup or broken engagement. As for the Roberts family, Robert's mother only called me once when I pulled my investment. Her true nature was fully exposed in that phone call. Her voice was sharp and bitter/harsh. You pulled your investment after breaking up? How petty, you have such a small heart. You're not that capable anyway. Who are you trying to fool? An old woman who wasted my son's time for so many years. My son is a renowned Professor Roberts. What kind of woman can't he find? I hung up the phone immediately, finding it both laughable and absurd. Their whole family were truly master manipulators. As warm as they were to me before, they were now just as cold. They got back on their feet with my financial help, and now they were turning around and calling me petty. I didn't want to waste any more words on them and directly cut off all cooperation with the Roberts family. But I didn't expect the Roberts family to have even more despicable tactics waiting for me. When I heard the news, I was at the company. My assistant was the first to discover a trending topic/hashtag defaming me, which quickly reached the top. It claimed I shamelessly clung to Robert, was jealous of his and Sarah's relationship, and even tried to be the other woman. I knew exactly who bought this trending topic/hashtag. Robert was too arrogant to do something this foolish, and Robert's father cared about his reputation and wouldn't either. Besides Robert's mother, there was no one else. I just glanced at it as gossip news and ignored it. Unexpectedly, the topic hadn't died down after 2 days, and netizens even doxing all my information. My company was also subjected to inexplicable attacks, and all previously agreed upon collaborations fell through. Even aggressive passers-by and reporters surrounded the company building downstairs, causing panic within the company. The Roberts family was truly pushing their luck. I gave them room, but they took advantage. Since that's the case, no one would have an easy time. Just as I was preparing to retaliate, I suddenly received a phone call. When I avoided the media and rushed to the airport, only a tall, slender man sat on a bench outside the airport, looking somewhat lonely. I calmed my hurried breathing and walked up to him. "David? What are you doing back now?" David was a neighbor kid I grew up with, but his family moved abroad many years ago, and we hadn't kept in touch much since. David looked up, his handsome face seemingly glowing under the lights. After a few years, this kid had gotten even more handsome. "Long time no see, Emily." He gave me a bright smile, just like the young man I remembered. The Gu family, referring to David's family, had already planned to expand their business here, so their business focus was gradually shifting back from abroad. Upon learning that I was being slandered online, David immediately organized a professional team that quickly resolved all the issues and even turned the tide of public opinion. When he exposed the Roberts family's inconsistent behavior online, netizens exploded. "Can someone tell me, the world changed overnight while I was asleep. Is it too late for me to apologize now?" "Me too." "Enough said, let's go quickly curse the other family." Am I the only one who thinks Robert staying silent means he wants to play both sides and reap the benefits? Of course, there are always people in this world who don't care about right or wrong. While some were discussing, others were cursing. Are the Roberts family people all idiots? That Emily is too, and Robert's advisor is too. All right, netizens are starting online chaos. Does no one seriously think the advisor's daughter is too much? She knew Robert had a fiancé and still got close to him. According to the previous trending topic, the one who isn't loved is the other woman? Is this victim blaming? I stopped paying attention to the online comments and took this opportunity to make good use of the publicity. My company's stock price also rose as a result. Robert's mother called, trying to seek reconciliation, but started yelling abuses the moment things didn't go her way. I hung up immediately and then blocked her. On the 3rd day of the public opinion storm, Robert finally called me for the first time since we broke off the engagement. Usually a man of few words, his first sentence was to blame me. "Emily, do you know that your actions asked Sarah to suffer cyberbullying?" Our family is also being besieged by the media. Do you have to make everyone miserable? His exasperated voice made me laugh. Robert, what do you mean? Do you think I should be cyberbullied to highlight the nobility of the Roberts family and Sarah? There was silence on the other end for a while, then a sigh. I know you're unhappy that I'm close to Sarah, but we were just having normal academic discussions, nothing crossed the line. This is all a misunderstanding. Quickly take down that trending topic / hashtag, and then apologize to Sarah and my mother. We can let this go. His voice was filled with helplessness and a sense of entitlement. Robert, we've already broken up, and the engagement was cancelled a long time ago. What right do you have to dictate to me now? About the broken engagement, I wasn't in the mood to listen to his nonsense anymore. Without waiting for him to finish, I hung up the phone. He called again, and I immediately blocked him. I thought someone as arrogant as him wouldn't show up again after hitting a wall with me. But he somehow found out my address and came directly to my residence, blocking the doorway. I was startled when I went out and saw him crouching on the ground, almost throwing the bag in my hand. Only after realizing it was a person did I slowly calm down. What are you doing here? Crouching here late at night to scare people. Where was the arrogance of Professor Roberts? To find you. Robert didn't stand up immediately. After moving around for a while, he slowly got up, rubbing his numb legs. You actually blocked me? That's too much. Someone like you, who else would want you besides me? I couldn't help but sneer, about to retort. I would. David walked over, interrupting me. Robert's words made my face burn. I awkwardly changed the subject. What are you doing here? You didn't come down for so long, IW. As worried you ran into trouble again, so I came up to check. Perhaps our ignoring him irritated Robert. He yelled loudly, attracting our attention. Emily! Who is this man? You're seeing someone behind my back. Why are your words so unpleasant? We haven't had a relationship for a long time. Who I'm with is my freedom, it has nothing to do with you. Robert had the nerve to question me. It was already well known that he was flirting with someone else before we even broke up. You vulgar. Robert's face turned red, and his outstretched hand trembled continuously. David was pulling me away, but unexpectedly, Robert suddenly rushed over, trying to separate our clasped hands. David let go of my hand and easily dodged his charge. But Robert, having put too much force into it, couldn't stop in time. With a bang, his head hit the wall behind us. I couldn't help but wince, that sound hurt just listening to it. He stood up dizzily, clutching his forehead. Apart from the pain, he seemed fine, so we didn't bother with him anymore and left directly. As we left, I could faintly hear his threat. You guys just wait. To thank David for his help earlier, I specially chose a high-end restaurant to treat him to a meal. Just as I reached the private room, Robert caught up. Emily, he called out angrily. Robert had a bandage on his forehead and looked a little pale. The usually tidy him now looked somewhat disheveled. He seemed to want to say something, but glanced behind us, then closed his mouth, his face darkening. A sweet voice came from behind. Robert, you're here? Sarah was still wearing a white dress, walking forward with a smiling face to link her arm through his. Seeing the injury on his face, her expression changed. What happened, Robert? Who hit you? Robert looked troubled. He gritted his teeth and said, I fell myself. Pfft, seeing him look over here, I couldn't help but burst out ugging. Sorry, I really couldn't help it just now. The girl beside him glared at me, then shook his arm. Okay, let's go. My dad and they are already waiting for you. David and I exchanged glances and walked towards our private room. Passing by Robert's private room, I thought I saw Robert's father, Robert's mother, and an unfamiliar middle-aged man out of the corner of my eye. They were probably discussing their engagement, which had nothing to do with me anyway. Sitting in the private room, the dishes we had ordered earlier were served one after another. These are all my favorite dishes. David looked at me with a smile. I sighed helplessly. Is there anything you don't like to eat? He had never been a picky eater since childhood, eating whatever was given to him. Everyone said he was easy to feed. We recalled some childhood memories, but David's gaze towards me became increasingly odd. Feeling a bit uncomfortable, I excused myself to the restroom to avoid his gaze. Washing my hands distractedly, I turned from the faucet and bumped into someone. Clutching my sore nose, before I could see who was in front of me, my wrist was firmly grabbed. "Robert, what are you doing?" My head buzzed, and a wave of heat surged when I saw who it was. "Going crazy?" "I am crazy. Are you breaking up with me because of that man? What's so great about him? Do you think a pretty boy like him actually likes you? He's just after your money." I found it ridiculous and looked at him with a sneer. "Weren't you just after my money when you were with me?" Robert froze for a moment. I don't like you anymore now. I'm interested in him. Is that not allowed?" I continued. "You're interested in him? What do you see in him? Is he better than me?" He said, then thought of something, and his face turned grim. "Did you sleep with him? Can he satisfy you?" I never thought he, who was always so proud, would say yes. Oh, nothing so disgusting. Rage boiling in my heart, I broke free from his grip and slapped him across the face. "Not everyone has a mind as dirty as yours." Robert turned his head from the blow. He covered his face and actually laughed. I looked at my hand, a little surprised. Oh no, did I actually make him lose his mind? Instead of getting angry, Robert started explaining. He said Robert's mother told him this time that she wanted to invite his advisor for dinner to thank him, but unexpectedly, upon arrival, they started discussing the engagement. "I didn't expect my mother to trick me into coming here. She said you were flirting with someone else first and also slandered her and Sarah online." I retorted, "So you just believed her? Blocking me without distinguishing right from wrong and saying such disgusting things. Did they force you to say that?" Robert fell silent. I thought he wouldn't say anything else. "I'm sorry." I'm sorry contained too much. What I had been through during this time was not something that could be easily forgiven with a single apology. He also said that he only admired Sarah's abilities and had no other intentions. But whatever he said now was too late. I no longer wanted to keep chasing him, it was too tiring. I didn't forgive him. Doing wrong is doing wrong, one apology can't make me act like nothing happened. Just as we were in a stalemate, Sarah's voice sounded uncertainly. "Robert? Is that really you? What are you doing here?" She took a few steps closer and saw me, who was blocked by Robert. "It's you!" Sarah looked at me warily and asked Robert what was going on. "She is my fiancée." I scoffed. I wouldn't dare be Professor Roberts' fiancée. "I'm his ex-girlfriend." Hearing she was the ex-girlfriend, her expression immediately relaxed. Then she looked at Robert, appearing pitiful. "Robert, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have stood so close to you making your ex-girlfriend jealous. I'm also being cursed at by netizens." Saying this, her eyes quickly became moist. Robert seemed to fall for this. His brow furrowed when he heard this, and he pursed his lips, looking at me with disapproval. Sarah clung tightly to Robert's arm, pressing close to him, showing off her claim. Seeing that the person beside her wasn't reacting for a long time, her face looked a bit awkward, and she started with sarcastic remarks. "Since sister says you're his ex-girlfriend, don't keep bothering Robert." Someone like sister, being with Robert before was already a stroke of luck, but, well, a good horse doesn't eat grass it has already eaten. She left the sentence hanging, full of meaning. "I understand what you mean. But isn't the saying about not messing with people too close to home? Sister, you tell me what that sounds like." Sarah's face turned extremely ugly. She was furious. You, unable to say anything for a long time. Me, what about me?" I mimicked Sarah's tone and threw the line back at her. "You just wait." When she couldn't win with words, she resorted to threats. She pouted at Robert. "Robert, let's go quickly. Your parents are waiting for you." Robert acknowledged her. Before leaving, he turned back and gave me a deep look, his eyes containing an indescribable emotion. I mumbled something unintelligible and went back. Just as I grasped the doorknob, the door was opened from the other side. David, why did you come out? Seeing me, his tense expression relaxed. You were gone for so long and didn't come back. I was worried you'd run into trouble again, so I came to check. Hearing this, I felt a touch of warmth in my heart. Later, David accidentally let it slip, and I learned the truth. He owned this restaurant. He checked the security footage and thought I had gotten into a conflict with Robert, so he rushed out to find me. I'm fine, don't worry. I just ran into Robert when I went out, the one I mentioned before, my ex-boyfriend. I told him lightly, but noticed a flash of joy in his eyes. He didn't do anything to you, did he? No, he just explained about the previous rumors and wanted to pester me, but his rumored love interest interrupted him. I couldn't help myself and retorted a few times before coming back. The light in David's eyes grew even brighter. Anyone could see his good mood. I looked at him strangely. He seemed a little embarrassed, cleared his throat, turned his head away, his eyes darting around. Why are you staring at me like that? A blush crept up his face, gradually spreading to his ears. His whole face turned red. Although I had seen it many times before, it was still amusing every time. You really blush easily, David. I couldn't help but poke his cheek. It was warm, and seemed to get even redder. He was so funny that I laughed. He awkwardly avoided my hand and stammered that the food would get cold. Seeing that I wasn't teasing him anymore, the blush on his face slowly began to fade. By the end of the meal, he had returned to normal. I love this place, no matter how many times I come here. We were too full, so we decided not to take the car and strolled along the street to digest. Glad you like it. What does that mean? I mean, if you like it, you can come often. I always felt he had something else in mind, but I was in a good mood and didn't probe. Are you going to stay here permanently? He thought for a few seconds and gave me a definite answer. Yes. I'll always be here. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Thump thump, I could clearly hear my own heartbeat, and my breathing became rapid. I understood the deeper meaning in his words, but for me, it wasn't the right time yet. I could barely look him in the eyes, the love there almost suffocate. Me. I could only avoid his gaze and indirectly reject him. The moonlight is beautiful tonight, but it's not the right time for that. His eyes filled with sadness. I couldn't bear it and stopped looking at him. When I looked at him again, he had returned to normal, only carrying a trace of melancholy about him. I have enough time to wait. I believe the moonlight will eventually shine on me. We continued chatting as if that conversation had never happened, until the moon climbed above the trees. It's getting late. I'll walk you back. David spoke first, offering to take me home. Let's end here today. We'll make plans again next time. I said goodbye to him and slowly walked into my residence. Until the room light turned on, I watched him get into his car and drive towards next door. My new neighbor is David. I didn't treat it as a coincidence, nor did I go to confront him. After changing clothes and washing up, I collapsed onto the comfortable bed. Tossing and turning with a pillow, my mind was full of everything from tonight. My face felt hot. Without looking, I knew I must be blushing. Lost in my memories, I gradually fell asleep. What woke me up in the morning wasn't the sunlight, but a phone call from Robert. Emily, let's talk, okay? His voice completely cleared my sleepiness. Hadn't I blocked him? How was he calling from a different number? Okay, text me the place. After hanging up, I unblocked him from my social media blacklist. The chosen location was immediately sent. Okay. After replying, I didn't worry about it. Since it was a day off, I could sleep in longer. Sleepiness crept in again, and I didn't wake up until noon. Maybe because I slept too long, my body felt a bit weak, and it took a while to get up. I grabbed a quick bite, got ready, and prepared to head out. I arrived on time. Robert was already waiting there. After I sat down, Robert looked into my eyes. Did you see the message I sent you? Message? That long message? It was too long, not interested. Then I'll tell you again. Robert seemed to have anticipated this, his expression calm, showing no signs of anger. I asked the waiter for a drink and sipped it slowly. After I went back, I understood what happened. We were wrong about you. I know I neglected you and let you misunderstand my relationship with Sarah. I apologize to you. However, my mother caused the trending topic / hashtag incident, and Sarah is innocent. Hold on. I didn't want to hear these messy explanations. So what did you call me here for today? If you're just going to say this nonsense, then stop talking. No, I'm not. Seeing me about to leave, he seemed anxious, his voice almost a shout. Everyone in the restaurant turned to look. Robert lowered his head. I took the opportunity to sit back down, planning to hear what he really wanted to say. I'm getting engaged. He stared intently at my face, probably wanting to see my reaction. Oh, congratulations. Just say the word, and I can have them cancel the wedding reception. Robert's confident look made me want to laugh. He seemed convinced I would want to come back to him. But did he ever consider that our previous engagement was also canceled because of a word from him? No need. Being with me would hold back your future too much. I used his own words against him, but I overestimated Robert. He clearly forgot he was the one who said this first. No, it won't. I've already graduated with my doctorate. It's time to settle down. You don't need to worry about holding me back. Do you have any shame, Robert? I never thought he would be so shameless. Weren't those the words you gave me before? How did you respond when I suggested getting engaged repeatedly back then? Haven't you harmed me enough? Do you want to harm others too? Do you want someone else to pay for canceling their wedding reception just because you say so, like your mother? Besides, when I was hospitalized with acute gastritis, where were you? When your mother pointed her finger at me and cursed me, where were you? When your family put my information online for doxing, where were you then? You were flirting with your advisor's daughter, for the sake of your future. I looked at him sarcastically, finally saying the words I had kept bottled up. I felt completely relieved. Robert was clearly struck by my words. He sat there stunned, muttering, "That's not it. My mother said that you were the one who first proposed breaking off the engagement and pulled my investment from the Roberts family, and that's why she got angry and contacted the reporters." I scoffed. How could your mother tell you the truth and expose her real face? What about your image of her? Let's not say anything else. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. Stop bothering me. Without waiting for his response, I picked up my bag and left, leaving Robert frozen in place. Sitting in the car, I let out a long breath. Hopefully, there wouldn't be any more trouble now. A month passed peacefully like this. David proposed to me again a week ago, and this time I immediately accepted. But even now, I still haven't gotten used to having a boyfriend. When I was with Robert, I was always the one chasing him. I didn't expect the situation to be completely reversed this time. What are you thinking about, Emily? David leaned closer, pulling me back from my thoughts. He lightly kissed my forehead and softly said, "Come have breakfast." I covered my forehead and glared at him, but heard his increasingly unrestrained laughter. When I actually got angry, he would quickly come over to coax me. It added a lot of fun to our quiet life. One morning, I don't remember which day it was, a strange call came in. Half asleep, I reached Ed for it, but David pulled me back and tucked me into the covers. He answered the phone for me. "Emily, I'm getting married, she's still asleep." David's voice came through the phone to the other side. "Who are you? Why are you next to her?" I looked at David confusedly, removing his hand from my face. "I'm her fiancé." There was no sound from the other end. When I was fully awake, I pinched David's cheek. "When did you become my fiancé?" I didn't know. His eyes became pitiful. "You're not trying to back out, are you?" "Last night my face turned red. I covered his mouth, gritting my teeth and saying, "Fine, I'll take responsibility, okay?" That day, the wedding news of the son of the nation's wealthiest man shook the world. Your background is that significant? What's mine is yours. Later, I saw news about Robert online. He canceled the engagement on the eve of his wedding and lived out his life alone. Strangely, he always wore a ring around his neck, which sparked speculation. The design of that ring looked somewhat familiar to me. Just as I was about to look closer, David snatched my phone from behind me. Since you're not sleepy yet, let's continue. David, that's enough. As I was drifting off to sleep, I thought I heard him whisper. I still managed to hold on to my moon. Emily, I love you. I was too sleepy to respond, just snuggled closer into his embrace, found a comfortable position, and continued to sleep. David didn't say anything else either, just held me tighter, resting his chin on the top of my head. My lips curved upwards, but I didn't let him see my hidden smile. Actually, I loved him too. Fortunately, I finally waited for my night.